Hi, this is Scott with Spectre Gear with another tactical shotgunner pro tip. And what I want to talk about today, and this relates again towards operating a pump action shotgun, and that is ingraining the habit so that it's an automatic response, that whenever you fire a shot, you automatically cycle the action. You never leave an empty chamber. It used to be something that I used to really get on people on when I was doing shotgun classes. If they fired a shot and they're out there looking to see where their pellets hit and they got an empty chamber, they're going to earn an ass chewing right on the spot. You never leave an empty chamber, period. Because you are the person, you are the operating influence on this weapon. It's a people-powered weapon. If you don't cycle that action, nothing's going to happen. It's not automatic. And I tend to see this a lot with people that are coming from an environment where they're used to shooting self-loading firearms. They get into something like this and they don't have that automated response that the second that shot is fired, you go for it. Now, one problem with this is if you ingrain this incorrectly, what can happen is you can develop almost a flinch response. And what I mean by that is, and by the way, let me show you what it looks like when the people leave an empty chamber. So here's what you don't want to do. Here's the first wrong thing. And then you look to see where you're at, evaluate, and then run the action. No. What you want to do, just like that, the second that shot is fired, you're running that action. Now, where the flinch response comes in and can become a problem is if you try to run that action too early. And you have some people that will pull the trigger and start running that action to the rear before the shot's even been fired. It's almost like anticipating recoil, or it's almost like the people that'll dip their muzzle to see where their bullets hit before they've even fired the bullet in a handgun. Same effect here. So what I want you to think in terms of is if you've been exposed to sear set training where you pull the shot, you hold the trigger to the rear till you attain that sight picture, then let the trigger out till you feel and hear a click. That's a sear set trigger pull. I'm not saying you do that on a shotgun. I'm not going to advocate that. I have a totally different story on that I'll relate later. But what I am saying is I use the same response. It's very quick, but what happens is when I pull the shot, I'm looking at that front sight. When I get that front sight down, my arm is starting to go to the rear. It looks almost like it happens the moment the shot is fired, but there is a momentary delay on that. But it needs to be that fast. And in doing so, to be completely honest with you, there are a couple of factors where a semi-auto shotgun has some small advantages over a pump, but when it comes to speed, shot to shot, so long as you're counting hits, the rate is about the same. You can keep up with a semi-auto shotgun with a pump, no problem, all day long. So with that, I'll bring it to a close, but just remember, never leave an empty chamber, and always cycle that shot, or rather cycle that pump as soon as that shot is downrange, and keep that thing moving. So with that, I'll bring it to a close. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.